are going to discuss a short story by Kate Chopin, which is called The Night Came Slowly. She is an American short story writer.
So she is an American author and she's mostly written novels and short stories. This particular piece that we're talking about today is prose. It's not driven by a plot, but rather it has an interior monologue that the author does. She is known as a forerunner of feminism or feminist authors of the 20th century. She has a Catholic background as well as she's a Southern American writer. So she was based in Louisiana. So I think and by the timeline and the publishing of this particular piece, we can understand that she has been around the abolitionists. She's been around the American Civil War. So most of her writings we would see would be very much in influenced by that movement and by that time and era. So something that we know about her, according to many sources, that she was depressed. By reading this, we would definitely one would contemplate that she was depressed. Maybe if she was depressed, but then we know through many sources that she was, and she has written this piece of writing in 1894 and it was published in 95.
Like you said, it begins with a clear disinterest in human beings and human relationships. I would just like to read how the opening line has been stated here. I'm losing my interest in human beings and the significance of their lives and their actions. And the same idea has been extended throughout this monologue. It's a monologue and it is probably an internal monologue because she is not speaking to anybody but herself. And
Hmm.
some of the themes which form part of this piece are how she connects more with nature than human beings because they have disappointed her a lot, way too much. And
Yeah,
yeah, night has been personified here. Um, she finds peace, and the whole the whole piece also shows how she's very reflective about her thoughts, and night is the only time when she can be at peace. Yeah.
yeah. I also think that the beginning, as I agree with you, here, the beginning of the whole piece itself is very, makes it very clear that she has lost interest. She starts by saying, I am losing my interest. Um, how did you feel the tone was overall of the whole prose, the short story?
Uh, yeah, so there is obviously no sort of, I mean, there is no enthusiasm in it. She is kind of just withdrawing from the world, and it is
Mm-hmm.
melancholic, I would say, because yeah, if we see the concluding paragraph, it says, why do fools cumber the earth? That's what she says. And she also describes that man with his Bible as detestable. So
Mm-hmm.
she is angry, she is disappointed, there is a lot of rage, it seems. Yeah.
Yeah.
What have you
She
observed?
is, I would totally agree with the disinterest in people and, being outraged on people as well. Many of the phrases that used is very evident of that. Um, she shows her disinterest by this. Is it a plan? It's a song. Sorry. So this Katie Dids began their slumber song, and she finds it more wise than what people have to say, what the man has to say, and also. the star, the example of the star where she finds them more reliable, instead of what the man has to say about the Bible and everything, because the reason she gives is because the star um might have seen God, might have experienced.
Yes, so probably she's pointing to how she would like to learn or get to know about God through her own experience than somebody dictating or telling it to her. She believes
Yeah,
in learning by experience.
experience.
Um,
Definitely.
yes. Also, there is a line here that says the night is solemn and it means mystery. So maybe
Mm-hmm.
because the night is mysterious, there is something to wait for, there is something to be found. She can find something in it because it is mysterious. But then human
Hopeful.
being, hopeful, yes, um, hopeful, and also then maybe it is not predictable like human beings are. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Definitely, I can see a lot of themes around ecocentrism, or um, one could actually analyze this text as eco-critically, where she has put all her trust in nature, although it is mysterious and undoubtedly very, very vague for her and something that she could never predict. But then, and also she has shown the contrast with humans who are so limitless, who are so limited, sorry, and who can't be trusted at all. So I think there is an element of that. I'm pretty sure. So in America, there's this author called Robinson Jeffers, who was known just around this time, a little before maybe, to write about these things, whose poems were widely known for its inhumanism, and which is another topic for another day. But then it aligns a lot with anthropocentric themes. So I think a
anti
lot of those
Anti-anthropocentric themes, right?
anti-anthropocent, yes, yes. So I think we can draw a lot of parallels, with those kind of texts and her texts, which is great. Um, I feel like she writes ahead of her time. What makes her different from other short story writers that I've uh, read is that her her ability to capture things, reality, so um, her ability to capture things so rightfully or so creatively is what makes her different. She kind of puts her own emotions and her own opinions as well, her own philosophy into it as well. So, which is very interesting for me.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so we can clearly see that she is emotionally exhausted and
Yeah,
she seeks comfort in nature. And so, do you think that nature can offer her the kind of emotional support that she is looking for, or are human beings irreplaceable? What do you think?
I do think that she can find it, and I think in the poem, in the prose itself, she kind of finds the solace and the comfort that she's looking for, and that's why she's writing about it. So the the picture starts very the picture of the whole prose starts with a very bold opinion, but then it slowly turns into very calming and very slumber like situation. Then she again drops another bomb by talking about religion and people talking about religion, humans talking about religion. She doesn't dismiss it, but then she is very, stern in her opinion again. So I think she has already made her decision. She already thinks established that nature can be the one. that you can trust, not humans. What do you think?
Yeah. No, obviously, from what we have read here, that is the idea that she is advocating. But I mean, obviously, it is sad to have an experience like this. But I mean, since we need, that social circle as humans. Um,
Mm-hmm.
the fact that she was disappointed by those around her is sad, and I can feel for.
Yeah,
But then I think somewhere, mm, I mean, it doesn't need to be this or that, right? We need
cynical. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
we need humans, and we also need to be connected with the nature
With
at the same time.
I think this is the biggest misconception people or readers or scholars can have when reading about an anti in anthropocentric or maybe ecocentric or maybe inhumanism. This is the major. So Robinson Jeffers actually mentioned this in his foreword or whatever you call it. Um, he actually wrote that he's not writing about these things to dismiss humanity altogether, or it's not against human, but it's more like to surface or to illuminate how humans should just let go of their ego and think outside of themselves too, and think about the bigger picture sometimes. Because well, as we are living in a social world, but then we sometimes forget in our own, and especially now when we have so much of capitalism and so many, and the world is just going on in such a fast pace. Our life is going on in a fast pace, so that we forget how what the bigger picture is, or sometimes we take ourselves too seriously. And that's what he wanted to point out, that there are little things in nature can never beat nature. um, Even if you will live, you will die eventually, but then this will always stay. Like, I
Yeah.
don't know if I make sense, but there's
No,
a whole lot of theory against.
no, that definitely makes sense. And is there something like, I mean, anti-anthropocentrism or inhumanism? Is it a response to exploitation, excessive exploitation of nature, if I'm not wrong?
Yes, of course,
Is
yeah.
right?
He wrote this after. I mean, he was very different in his writings, and this was totally entirely his concept. But then there are many people who talked about anti-anthropocentric and ecocentric themes, but his was a little different. I would love to, you know, research more about it, and bring another video on just inhumanism. That would be amazing. But then,
Need to do
yeah,
that. It's
um, it is definitely against all the exploitation. Yes.
yes. So I think that that has to be the reaction when you reject nature. There has to be, an advocacy of how you cannot reject it. So there is a
Yeah.
need to talk about it somewhere. But then the problem begins when you start rejecting it. You want to conquer it. That is where the problem begins, right? That you
Yeah.
have to beat it. That desire is problematic.
Yeah. Greediness.
Yes.
I
And
think it's
hmm,
it's amazing how Kate Chopin has wrote about nature. I've not read many of her works, but this work is so nature centric, and um, so deep within nature, and it also is in contrast with human nature. So I wonder if her other works are also somewhat similar on the similar themes. and I'm excited to read more from her.
Yes, definitely. We'll maybe do some more stories by her.
All
Okay.
right, so I think that's it for the um, analysis. We hope to see you in another one. Thank you.